Quite a day it's been for so many people involved.
We have crews in the air as well as on the ground. Art Kohn has been at the scene all day long, 24th and Bird Neck. Art, what do you have for us right now?
Well, Alvita, I just got done talking with Virginia Beach Fire Battalion Chief Tim Riley, and I was asking him about, you know, we've spoken so much about our good fortune thus far, but I was asking him, when will we have a really high confidence level that there are no fatalities, no other serious injuries in this? And he wanted me to stress to everyone, we're not talking about minutes or hours, we're talking about days. And one of the next things that they will be doing as soon as they can is they're going to be bringing in some heavy equipment, and they will begin a process what they call delayering, and that is to go through the rubble and to see if there is anyone in there at all. Now, one of the good, having said all that, one note of encouragement that we do have thus far, though, is we have had no reports of missing persons that we know of. So that's certainly something to keep our hopes up with. But again, it's going to be some time before we're absolutely sure that there was no one killed in this incident. You know, one thing we do know about, there was a lot of individual heroism. Earlier, I introduced you to a Virginia Beach citizen, a man who lives there in those apartments, Pat Cavanaugh. His son is a friend of mine. He was one of the two men who helped rescue the pilots. Let's hear about his experience right now. Meantime, you live right by where this happened. Tell me what happened, Pat.
I was home. I heard 3 loud bangs. I'm not going to call them explosions. It's just something I haven't heard before. And I got up, went out my sliding door out of my kitchen, and saw a pilot laying on the ground, his parachute still connected to the building. I ran over and did a body survey to see about his injuries. He had some blood coming out of his nose. I made sure he didn't have any broken bones. He apologized for crashing into our complex, and I chuckled and told him, don't worry about it. We're alive, and we'll get you out of here as fast as we can. And some other neighbors come by. And we picked him up and we dragged him to the around to the side parking lot away from the fire. The heavy black smoke was coming over the building, and I knew we just had a matter of time. I didn't know where the fire was, but I knew we had to get out of there.
You know, and Mr. Cavanaugh is, by the way, Mr. Cavanaugh is a retired emergency medical technician himself. And I'll tell you something else about Mr. Cavanaugh. He put himself at considerable risk, not only because of his age and physical condition, but Mr. Cavanaugh has experienced more than one heart attack in his time. And for him to put himself on the line to help someone else, that's just one more example of how people stood up around here. But again, we're going to be out here for some time, and it's going to be some time before we know for sure that this thing wasn't worse than it appears to be right now. But right now, we're certainly encouraged by what we've seen and heard thus far.
And Art, why do I think we're going to hear more stories like Mr. Cavanaugh's in the coming hours and days?
We appreciate him.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Thanks, Art.
Thanks, Art.